for this destiny predetermined since ancient times. A pitch-black night unfolds when the morning star is its only light. And thus the saga begins.
Hello, this is RetroZuke81. I am 40 seconds into broadcast on air. Thank you for joining the broadcast, everyone. Getting the volume balance as needed. 55 seconds into broadcast, 58, 59, 60, 1 minute on air. Testing, this is RetroZuke81. And as I don't live alone, please excuse the background noise of the calling of nature and all these things I cannot explain. Hello, RetroZuke81, back online on air. Please excuse the setback of broadcast. On air, microphone unmuted, testing. 2 minutes into broadcast.
From a far eastern land across the sea.
Okay, this is RetroZuke81. And yes, I'm online. I have my system back. There's times I will take my PlayStation 5 to the pawn shop, and the purpose of this is to get money. Just like in the same sense that Ryozuki would go to the pawn shop while he's in China to get money, or get jobs, side jobs, or jobs for money. Is the same way I do this here in America. And where am I located? In Michigan, to get money. It's all the same. It all works out the same way to get money when I need it. And this is RetroZuke81. Okay, starting the game again. Ryo's room, Hazuki residency. Okay. Asleep. Yes, so I've been away from the system, from the broadcasting for a while now, but I am definitely back online. Three minutes and 45 seconds in the broadcast. Checking on air. Okay, I am online. I should be broadcasted just fine here. No muted microphone. Let me test one more time. Testing. Getting used to the controls and configurations on my PlayStation 5 again. I am 4 minutes and 10 seconds in the broadcast on air. With the microphone audible. Yes, sir. I'll find old number 8. Let's do this.
Ine-san is always there for me.
Duo-san, are you going out?
Yeah?
You were late returning home last night.
Yes, a little.
I would appreciate it if you could come home by 11.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, so I'm looking at Ryuzuki lately. Yes, so I'm trying to say I'm looking at this guy lately, Ryuzuki, on my screen when he walks, when he talks. Now, what I'm trying to say is that I remember myself looking this way, this kind of a body figure structure, and the muscles and the muscles you can see through the clothing, through his jeans, buffed hands, buffed arms through the jacket, buffed back, buffed chest, buffed abs forming, I remember this body structure that I really had in real life. And you can see the buffed buttocks, the gluteus maximus and gluteus minimus. You can see that is, actually, I don't think they give his enough justice to his legs. My legs from the I think the cleats look sort of accurate, but probably not. Like how to say it. If you can imagine the body of JCVD, and I know I did not take pictures back then. I really regret not doing that. When I'm in the mirror at Region 5, the teacher told me to take pictures of yourself. I'm a spiritual martial artist and other religions studying in that, and I didn't know I should do that. I should have listened. The body, the jeans I would wear primarily were red tab Levi's, and I would just, have like inseam of 34 or inseam of 32. Waist was always 34 or 32. Those jeans I don't have anymore. There are also jeans I would wear of silver tab jeans, Levi's or Lee, whatever it was, silver tab in the 1990s. 1995, I wore a deep jewel green silver tab jeans pair all the time. Probably two pair I bought in those 94 and 95 years. I can remember wearing the stone khaki stonewash faded blue jeans, and I can remember wearing medium wash blue jeans. Now the body that this guy has, I'm looking at his legs. His legs look sort of like elongated pencils with some curve and thickness to them. There's some curve and thickness to his legs, but I guess because they're trying to depict this guy to be able to walk around, and when he does the moves, they want to make sure that they can get the form of his moves and in the kicks, the perfect accuracy and power. If they want to create, you notice how in Shenmue they're trying to emulate. Okay, Shenmue 1 and 2, the creators are trying to really, really emphasize to emulate when Ryozuki does perform his kicks and his strikes. It's so much about the form, and it's also just as much about the form as it is the power and the accuracy that's from the form. So when he does execute his strikes, especially his kicks, you can hear the motions of Ryozuki doing these moves that are impressive, that are very professional looking, and you can hear the it's like a crisp motion of body movement that Ryozuki does. He has in his clothes. If you know that anything about karate, anything about the martial arts, sometimes they do sell. Well, not sometimes, but they do sell clothes where they have clothing where the gis have like this. When you do a strike, you can hear the the crisp motion of the gi, or the crisp motion of the kicks in the gi somehow. But you should be able to hear those crisp motions in basic century karate, dobok, or gis, and then dobok is Korean. But what I'm saying is, when you can hear the crisp motion of those moves, you know that it's there's talent in Ryuzuki, or talent in anyone who does these moves, is what I'm saying. And yes, so the martial arts in Shenmue are very profound. They're very special. Now, when I say profound, they stand out, and they make a point. Is, in other words, like, how when people say the word profound or profane, well, it means, I'm meaning like the same thing. Like, it's just the martial arts in Shenmue, the moves, when he's doing his moves, it's supposed to be profound. Martial arts, karate, and what he does, what any martial artist does. If somebody is a dan in the martial arts and karate, or in any martial art, for example, he's going to have profound form, profound power, very special gift if he's really a true dan, a true black belt, a true master. And there's higher masters than other masters in karate and other arts. But what I'm trying to say here is that the power I had, and I do claim that I had a degree that they named me Ryuzuki, which they did in 1995, 30 years ago. So what I'm saying here is that the power emulated is just as significant as the form emulated in Shenmue. And what I'm saying about this is that when Ryuzuki, okay, so going back to the fact, it's talking about the body structure of his legs. I remember having a jacket just like this. That jacket might exist still. It might exist still, and if it doesn't exist, there's one just like it that does exist. Because there are two jackets. There's two jackets that I know of. One of them was mine, and I don't want to say if this jacket is ever presented again, it would be, but there are two jackets like this that I know of that existed, and one might be out there of one that's just like the one I had. The one I had was a size 38. The one I wore was size 38. And it says 38 in the back. And that means whatever, probably the chest, bust, chest, whatever. Yeah. So I was very slim. I was very different. I was very, very fit. And, I don't know if I wore a size 48 later. I might have. But I might have worn a size 42 in a chest bust. I don't know. But I do remember the first jacket I had like this was 38. So it may be a 38. It's kind of hard to really know. But this jacket has the same collar as the one depicted in Shenmue. If you take a look at this, the collar that they have that's flavor, they're making fun of Ryuzuki's shoulders, because my Dan teachers used to call me Kenner. And I know I've said this before, but they did call me Kenner and joke around because my shoulders were sort of bulky. And they do make Jin Kazama also have bulky shoulders, too. The reason I'm saying Kenner, if you've seen Showdown Little Tokyo with Brandon Lee and Dolph Lundgren, Dolph Lundgren has a big, strong upper body. He's talented in karate and the martial arts, yes. But some people point out the fact that Brandon Lee does quote something to Dolph Lundgren saying he's asking, when did you start training? And then he says, what is it, since I was 6 or 8 or 5, I don't know what he said, but I think Brandon Lee says since he started training since he was 2 or 3 or 1, whatever the words were. And then he says, okay, Brandon Lee says, you should, he's asked, he says, when did you start training? He gives the answer. Dolph Lundgren replies the age number. And Brandon Lee, I believe he says the age number he trained at some point in the conversation. But then Dolph Lundgren is told by Brandon Lee. Brandon Lee says you should try to. Well, he I don't know what he says exactly. It's been a while since I've seen Showdown with Tokyo, but he does say all that upper body strength slows you down. And as you can see, Dolph Lundgren, and I know he's a really awesome, cool, reputable martial arts actor and boxer, and also in Rocky IV. He, if you see Rocky IV with Sylvester Stallone, Dolph Lundgren has Dolph Lundgren has a very strong upper body physique and lower all around strong physique, very fit body, but he has a very strong upper body too. And they just see, this is what I'm saying. His lower body is very strong also, but for some reason, I remember my upper body was really strong too. But they're, so what I'm saying is like, they're just, those teachers would say that to me about Kenner, but then they would always chop down on my shoulders during class, and so that's because my shoulders look tense to them or something. I don't know what the reason was exactly, but I believe that's what it was. They want to untense my shoulder strength, the rhombus muscles or whatever, deltoids, something. So, what I'm saying is like, I'm just implying that the Don instructors I train with, they were joking about, calling me Kenner at the time. And they didn't mean nothing by it to Dolph Lundgren or anything. I mean, they're just regular guys. They watch movies too. I do remember them saying this. I'd never even seen Showdown with Tokyo at the time in 1995, but I seen it years later. And this movie comes out in, I think, 1990 or 91. So, it's a very old 90s movie that came out to TV, movie theaters, Hollywood, whatever, it's all the same. So what I'm saying, this Ryuzuki, when I had this body, now, I had this body, and, I'm just staying on that subject here. I'm saying that the subject here is the theme of this conversation too, is this collar on this jacket. It's specially designed to be Shenmue Ryuzuki, and there may be a jacket out there like that still exists, but there were two, and I'm saying I had mine, but I don't have it in my possession now. It may be switched around someone else's house or something. I don't know. Things got moved around in my house at times, and they're not all in the house I'm living in now. But if this jacket is in fact out there, that is definitely the same kind of jacket that Ryuzuki wore, that I wore. The first original jacket of Shenmue. and they are not going to tell you this. Yu Suzuki may not admit this ever. He might. I don't know if he would want to. Not gonna say too much about that, but I'm just knowing more about this Shenmue on my own and DIY, like doing them all myself. I know these martial arts that I've done from 1995. And you know what else I'm wanting to say too? There's something more to me, possibly, about this tiger, the way it's drawn. But maybe I shouldn't say that, you know. I don't know if I should say something more about the tiger now. And I may never. I've already said some things about the way this tiger, what I believe I know about it. They may be where I just leave it at that. Because I might be figuring out too much on my own. That is art, that tiger, and that's all I'm going to say. But about the tiger, now if you see Ryuzuki's cufflinks, they're made of fabric. They're like threaded stitching. And so is the bottom part of the jacket. So, you know, like, this is the problem with this Shenmue, in a way. I mean, I don't want to get off subject, but I could say a million things I know about Shenmue. And, you know, I could say 10 million things I know about Shenmue that they don't tell you. It's a whole other side what I'm saying about Shenmue. And that's because I carry the fight choreography from 1995. You know, I would challenge anybody in a conversation to, you know, if they say, oh, you just watch Kenjito Master and you copy his moves. The reason I watch Kenjito Master, I do watch that, but I can tell anyone why. It helps me to remember when I did these moves because I don't have the actual video recording of VHS copies that my Dan teachers from the United States, Subakdo Mudokwan Federation, have recorded me in 1995. They recorded me with cameramen. That special cameramen came in, big bulky cameras, like from the news or something. I don't know where they got those cameras, but I did in fact do this fight choreography, special works that helped make Shenmue special. And, you know, I was having a conversation with Corey Marshall. And I don't want to say nothing offensive or, you know, about the conversation that I had with Corey Marshall. But Corey Marshall does say that the martial arts are not special. I don't know why he says that. Now, I'm his friend on Facebook. He says the martial arts are not special. He says that the storyline is what Shenmue's about. This is what I think of this. Here's my feedback on this. Corey Marshall is a very cool, respected person in the Shenmue project. And I'm just saying that, I'm just making that statement. He is the voiceover actor of Ryu Hazuki. They regard him as Ryu Hazuki. They regard Yu Suzuki as Ryu Hazuki. Also, they I've heard it said they all Ryu's. Okay, I'm not making fun of the Shenmue Dojo. I'm not insulting Sega. I'm not trying to insult the people from Australia. Lots of respect and love to the Shenmue Dojo people. I do admit this. But what I'm really saying here, they want, you know, everybody wants. And I think that's because he's the best part of Shenmue. Well, I won't say more than that. But I will say something else on the subject here. Okay, getting back to the conversation about Corey Marshall. I'm going to just walk here. Okay, so talking about the conversation I had with Corey Marshall, it's much better when I'm walking. Yes. So I'm Retro Rizuki 81. Now, I understand. Okay, I like Corey Marshall. I'm a fan of him. Yes. Um, I would. I don't want to talk about too much about that, but I mean, I don't want to say something I don't want to say, but I'm going to get back on subject. Okay. So Corey Marshall and we had a conversation, and we were talking about, okay, how, I was given the comparison. Let me get off this Sakura Luka. Okay. I'm going. Yes, the conversation I had with Corey Marshall, we were talking about how the martial arts is not. Corey Marshall was saying to me that the martial arts is not as special as the the storyline of shit. Now, let me give a perfect and clear explanation of what I'm thinking here. Knowing that I created the fight choreography for Shenmue, I know this. I know these martial arts. I did it for Sega. I did it for, ultimately, I told my Dan teacher I did it for Japan in 1995. So I'm not lying about this. Let me get out of here. Get the W to. Okay. I'm just saying that it's my opinion that the creators of Shenmue, the big dogs, the big dogs in Shenmue are like, to me, they're like programmed in a way. If you could program them like a computer system, you could program them to deny all these claims through a disclaimer. You could program them, like all these people, to deny everything about what I'm claiming about Shenmue. But the reason I'm claiming this is because I know something more about Shenmue. Now, I'm not lying, but, okay, so, I don't want to talk about the disclaimer, but what I'm talking about here, stay put here for a minute. Okay, back to subject. The moves of Shenmue, okay, the martial arts of Shenmue, and that's concerning 1 and 2, well, 3 also, but the martial arts of Shenmue, definitely for Shenmue 1 and 2, are the special ones. Shenmue 3, I did that also. They copied me at Region 5. I remember doing the moves. I did them maybe once or twice at Region 5. They're kind of laughable for that Shenmue 3. They just, I don't want to say no more about that for Shenmue 3. Oh, no disrespect to Shenmue 3 Enhanced. I haven't played it. I don't know what to say. I haven't played it. If it's even available. Okay, so I never even beat Shenmue 3 myself. Thoroughly. Never beat it yet. But I should. I get bored with Shenmue 3, I'm thinking, because Ryuzuki, they don't give him enough justice for his talent. In fact, to me, they make Ryuzuki in Shenmue 3 a wimp. It's not right. Shenmue 1 and 2, on the other hand, the fight choreography of Ryusuke is really, really awesome talent. Rare martial arts talent in Shenmue 1 and 2. The fight choreography is really amazing. Okay. So, why is it amazing? There's basics of the fight choreography that, they didn't include I don't know why my teacher, and I'm just saying, they can deny this all they want, but this started the mission, this Shenmue. They can lie all they want, say whatever they want. I know about this game. They had a representative come to this junior high school when I was in 8th grade to look at my jacket, to see it. I'll say no more right now. But that school now is there's okay, so Melvindale, Michigan is more like Dearborn or Dearborn Heights, Michigan nowadays. Or you could say also perhaps more like the east side of Detroit, like off of Warren Road, where there's Middle Eastern people, a lot of Middle Eastern people there in Melvindale nowadays. It became like that. 30 years ago, in 1995, Melvindale, Michigan did not have a Middle Eastern culture majority there. Now, don't get me wrong, Middle Eastern people are amazing people. They're really cool people. I like Middle Eastern people a lot. Some of these people I've met around here are some of the favorite people I have in the world that I met. And I've always been a Michigan, though, but they're very cool people, very good people, Middle Eastern people. Yes, and so what I'm saying is that Melvindale, Michigan is where I went to school. And there's a school called Strong Junior High School. I was in 8th grade, and I wore this jacket everywhere. I dressed up like this Ryuzuki guy. But I didn't know nothing about Ryuzuki other than the fact that the Dan teacher that taught me karate, and I taught him Taekwondo and karate. And I taught him Kyokushin and other things. Okay. So he knows I would dress this way with a brown suede jacket and jeans. I didn't accept the patches. He was trying to give me patches. I didn't accept the jacket. He tried to give me a jacket one time, a different Shenmue jacket. I didn't accept it. I'm too spiritual, too different, too cool for that. Not too cool for that, but just too different. And I'm too different that year. That's what makes Ryuzuki special too. I walked like this guy. I run in gym class like this guy. They really Ryuzuki what he is. I can run like this guy. When I run, I don't run like you know how, let me make this clear. Do we know how Steven Seagal has a unique way about running? Well, he does. But Ryuzuki also has a unique way of running, too. And I'm starting to think that maybe I should video record, have someone record me of me running. I would really prefer to be in Japan and run with this jacket and look like this guy. I am this guy, I know, but the problem here is, I don't say no problems. No problems. What I'm saying. Okay, so basically what I'm saying about the running subject, I run exactly like Ryuzuki even today. If I just think back the way I used to be at 14, Um, or maybe I don't even have to do that. Maybe I would just naturally run like Ryuzuki anyway. But I run exactly like this guy. And that's because there was different times in gym class that I don't even know. But I mean, how did they know? How did they know to record the way I would run? See, I don't know how they did that, but I run like this guy. The back of me looks like this guy when I run. Even though I'm not fit exactly like Ryuzuki today, I do run like Ryuzuki. Now, that's special. That's cool. If we want the Ryuzuki as a martial arts movie actor, maybe you want the one who runs like Ryuzuki, who dodges QTE also like Ryuzuki. And I'm not bragging, I'm just saying. I dodge QTE like Ryuzuki. I run like Ryuzuki. I react my shoulders today, even though one of them have been dislocated in a car accident. I should have had my royalties so many years ago. That would have never happened. The vibe of my walk, when I walk in the room, when I walk everywhere, I look like this guy that year. You will never meet another person like me who gives the sexy appeal of this person like me. But I'm aware of my past. I'm aware of what I am and who I am. In a sense, not being arrogant here. So, to really say what I'm saying about this Ryuzuki, there's so many things I could probably say about him. And I am alive today. They say undead Noid. There's reasons why they say it. They're referring to Ryuzuki. So, when this guy walks in the room, his eyes are special. His face is special. Everything about Ryuzuki has always been special. Even though the Dan teachers take me like a joke in the past, and I don't know if they always will, or they don't take me like a joke. Perhaps it's because of the like, you know, the status, the health status that I, you know, that I, it's been what it's been over the years, you know, as far as my medical condition of, you know, I studied all about anxiety and all these things. Did you know that there's a lot of people in Asia? A lot of people in Asia, Japan, China, wherever, they are virgins. Now, just think, if I am in fact this guy, if I'm in fact this person, and I, you know, hooked up with females the right way, more than likely, it's just going to help me. But, I mean, I'm not trying to be, you know, really worshipped like a god here, but this is what I'm saying. Ryuzuki is definitely special, I think, to a lot of people around the world for who he really is, for the talent he really had. And it's not the fact that I would brag, but it's the fact that I'm in the know. I know these things. I'm not lying about my claims. So you see, Ryu Hazuki, this is a talent emulated from when I was age 14. It's going to make people mad when they, I mean, if they want to not believe that or whatever, well, who did this talent for Shenmue? It was not. It was not one of my Don teachers. Although I think I may have an idea, some clue of who they substituted, in my place. Perhaps because my, okay, my own family did not know what to think of the things my Don teacher would tell the things that were told to my Don teacher, the Kyosan M certified instructor of 1995. My family was never one day present in class when I was this Ryuzuki in training sessions. The talent I emulated was definitely way above and beyond, so impressive and outstanding. So people don't know me that year in 1995. Now, I can't help that. There's only a few select people that know me in 1995. Only a few. Now, those people, some of them may be dead today. Some of those people may have been paid off to shut up about this. Some of those people may not even care to talk about it. There's only a few select people that were in that class, Don teachers, other students, if they are alive, if they cared, whatever. But this rare martial arts talent is special that made this revolutionary video game called Shenmue. So I'm trying to describe, in more detailed explanation here about what Ryuzuki is. More about him. The real Ryuzuki, the first. Okay, it started out with me. Now back to the conversation when I was at the Hazuki residency. Okay, yes. So, okay, Ryuzuki, the body, they give him a lot of justice. I think they do. His calf muscles are there through his jeans. They look like hoofs. I mean, my calves look like hoofs when I wear my jeans still today. I look like I got some kind of horse hoofs. And I'm looking at him here. They have these jeans he's wearing. Now, you know what I'm saying about this. These, okay, the quadricep muscles are not justice here. The hamstrings are not enough justice. The gluteus maximus minimus might be some justice to it. But the real physique of Ryuzuki, they make statues of this guy. Do you know, everyone, what they cost for these statues of Ryu Hazuki, what they really are? I've seen these statues on eBay and Amazon or wherever online. I've seen them cost thousands of dollars, some of these statues of Ryuzuki. That's a statue of me in my mind. When I see a statue of Ryuzuki, they made rare statues of this Ryuzuki guy. And they only made like 750 or 950 or... So they only made so many statues of Ryuzuki, certain kinds. They only made so many Landy-sama statues. Now, these characters from this Japanese project that gave honor to Japan, that gave, the contribution to what Yu Suzuki's vision was for Shenmue, I did create this fight choreography. I helped Yu Suzuki. Anyone in the Shenmue group, you can debate this with me anytime. James Rayner, Corey Marshall, any of those people that know James Rayner, they say, talk to me about it if you want to. And I can refer you to who would know these things, who would, you know, if they were going to be honest. But I'm already doing the moves for Shenmue. I'm the origin of this Ryuzuki. So, I mean, I could debate this and anything. I mean, I don't want to offend people in the Shenmue group that would disagree with me, potentially. I've joined the Shenmue group years ago because I wanted to see if I could do something to help the movement of Shenmue. And this is just before Shenmue 3 came out. This is just before Shenmue the animation came out. That was my idea. They used my fight choreography to make Shenmue 3. I wish they hadn't done that. Some of the moves from I did in Region 5, I can recognize those moves. Maybe I'll do a few of those again. That Kung Fu they use in Shenmue 3, that must be my own fighting system of Kung Fu. Now I didn't know they created one like that, but they're probably giving another guy, the credit for doing the fight choreography for Shenmue 3. Okay, back online, yes. So, the fight choreography for Shenmue 3, most of that is not impressive to me, really. I mean, I see that fight choreography. It's not that impressive to me. Some of the moves from Shenmue 1 and 2 are, in fact, in Shenmue 3, the fight choreography that manifests into what Shenmue 3 became. Some of those moves are in there, and they don't identify all the moves in there. I don't even think they identify Cyclone Kick, but it's in there. And I did do Cyclone Kick in class. But, what I'm saying is that they do Mud Spider in Shenmue 3. I've seen that. They do some of the other moves. I don't think they included Dragon Spin. But that's part of Shenmue 2. That's from a scroll of a Kung Fu shop. I believe it was Shenmue 2. So, what I'm saying about this video game, I know a lot about this game. And this game, this is a project that Yu Suzuki created. Well, that's another thing to talk about, really. I know that in Shenmue 2, if you follow the credits in Shenmue 2, it does state that Yu Suzuki created the storyline. Let me reverse this. And if you follow the credits in Shenmue 2, the beginning of before Shenmue 2 starts the game, as Ryuzuki approaches the port in Hong Kong, China. Ryuzuki, so there's he's on the ship and he's approaching the harbor, the port in Shenmue 2, approaching Hong Kong. What is there is the credits. It's the credits for Shenmue 2. And they also have credits when you beat the game of Shenmue 2 later, after you beat it. But they have initial credits for Shenmue 2 when Ryuzuki is getting to Hong Kong, coming from Yokosuka Harbor. Is that it? Yokosuka Harbor in Japan. He's coming from there, and so Yu Suzuki, his name is mentioned, and it says that Yu Suzuki directed the story, and so he directed the storyline. It says he directed the story. Now, what else does it say? It says if I can remember correctly, I know it says he directed the story. I already forgot. I've seen it one time, but you'd have to watch it for yourself to know what it says. But I don't know if they will clarify if Yu Suzuki created, you know, if he created this, you know, whatever else he created for Shenmue 1 and 2 and 3. I do know that it says he directed the story. If this is in fact the best recollection of my memory when I did play Shenmue 2, or I saw the credits when I saw them. But I am lacking knowledge of this Shenmue project, the history, the side that Sega presents to the world about Shenmue. And when I say presents to the world, Sega, this is an international video game. This is not like, you know, a video game that is only for Americans, only for British, or only for Asian people. No, this video game was intended to entertain the whole world. And that's why I have a sense of pride for, you know, and it's an unofficial claim that I've done the fight choreography. I'm used in every sense for the likeness to be the Suzuki, and I had a degree for this that proved this. It made problems in my life a long time ago. I wish that I had the degree now, but there may be this degree somewhere in a cloud, according to an attorney that may deny it again. There's a lot of hush-hush and cover-ups about this Shenmue. It isn't right. It isn't right to do this to someone. And you know, honestly, I don't want to present a case and sue Sega over this. What I'm saying to everyone, I'll say it again. Because I am a fan, and I know that I've done these moves for Shenmue. I know they use my likeness and they use my body structure and everything about this guy. I don't want to present a case ever to... I don't want initially to sue Sega, but at the same time, I don't want to sue Bandai Namco either. And also at the same simultaneous time, I do not want to be uncredited for this works. You know, and in fact, I really don't think they would have to recreate Shenmue over again. I don't think they would have to make a new fight choreography. I just came in the martial arts class, and because I'm gifted in the martial arts, I did this fight choreography naturally. These moves from Kyokushin, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, other martial arts, Subakdo, and other things like other arts, karate, other styles, they came out of me naturally. Okay. So back to conversation here. Corey Marshall, he's telling me that the storyline is more important than the fight choreography, than the martial arts. He said. No, I'm not going to say fight choreography. He said martial arts. Okay. Well, that could be an opinion. That could be debatable. That could be you know, whatever. To me, because I created the martial arts they used for Shenmue, I'm the master of these systems. I'm either the co-founder or they could call me the founder of my karate federation. But I remember doing these moves. I remember doing these things. And, you know, I don't want to be denied these things, you know, these claims. So I'm saying, you know, if you take the statement that was, you know, I was suggesting to Corey Marshall that I was stating and suggesting to Corey Marshall that they should focus more on the martial arts and the original, you know, idea of to keep Shenmue a 3-dimensional video game and not to make it a 2.5-dimensional video game. As far as graphic design goes within Shenmue, the design, you know, if you know about graphic design, and I know my friend Ramon, his name, I believe it's Ramon Martin, my Facebook friend Ramon Martin. He is majored in graphic design. But it's my belief that, you know, they should stay. It's my opinion. It's my belief. I could even call it a fact in my mind. But I think they should stay concentrated on being a 3-dimensional video game. You know, see, this is what made Shenmue special to begin with. With this video game, Shenmue, Grand Theft Auto came about. Other games came about from this Shenmue. But this game sparked other video games to become 3-dimensional video games. It wasn't enough that Wolfenstein started out 3-dimensional and Doom started out as 3-dimensional. But the fact that this type of video game of a role-playing and martial arts themed and all the awesome themes and things about Shenmue and Ryuzuki, what he is, this is what pushed forward the move of 3-dimensional video games after it came out in 1999 for Sega Dreamcast. So I was stating to Corey Marshall that I think they should stay focused on that and don't leave that original idea for Shenmue. Because if it's 2.5 version, that's funny to me. Like, you know, they cannot emulate the moves of Shenmue, really, or can they? The body of him, all these things about him looks like a cartoon, like it's a joke. It doesn't. It's not impressive. It's just a joke. His martial arts is defeated. His image of Ryuzuki is defeated. It's all a defeated image of Ryuzuki to make it 2.5. See, this idea for Shenmue to be what it is in Shenmue 1 and 2 is what made the game awesome and an outstanding video game that was revolutionary also.
Hey, kid, come on, kid. You're no fun. You
Maybe I'm drunk too.
You a drink.
Let go of me.
What are you doing?
Listen to KT's here.
Stop, kid. Ah!
Hey, are you okay?
Damn. Get away. Just leave me alone.
Okay. So, anyway, these these claims I have about Shenmue. Oh, what am I saying here? Okay, so this video game Shenmue, I'm saying that the fight choreography, the martial arts, is what the focus should be on, and about the image of Ryuzuki. No, that's an
Look at
opinion
the
I have.
time. I really should go home early today.
Okay, so that is my opinion. And if other people who are, you know, representatives of, Big Dog, whatever they are, I'm not trying to say nothing disrespectful or anything, but if they're representing Shenmue officially, well, I think I should have that right myself, really, to represent Shenmue officially too. Uh, I know my claims are legitimate and real, so even though my claims stand as unofficial, um, I think that I should voice my opinion still, and then just see where that goes, and making Shenmue a better game for everyone, because Shenmue is for all to enjoy. Yes, so to voice my opinions and make these claims, I believe they should be made official. These claims, and it is, in the just sense that these claims are for Shenmue to be a better video game, because it seems to me like they do say, you know Mr. Yu Suzuki, he is elderly, he's getting older too. No disrespect to Yu Suzuki at all, but uh, well, it's been a long time since before he made Shenmue 3, before he made the story or directed it. I don't know what he did, but whatever, the leadership of creation of this Shenmue, I know is mostly credited to Mr. Yu Suzuki, and I am grateful about his works in creating this Shenmue and directing it, and manifesting, creating a storyline about Shenmue. So, and yes, let's not forget the storyline of Shenmue is important too. And to a lot of people too, the storyline of Shenmue may be the only thing it's about, is only the storyline. But to me, when Shenmue presented itself in Shenmue 1 of 1999 for the Sega Dreamcast, there's a very special fighting system that was used, a unique, special, and a very effective fighting system of multiple martial arts that was created and made Shenmue what it is. That's why they call Rizuki someone who practices jujitsu. That's considered mixed martial arts. This is before the move of the martial arts changed a lot. And when it did, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu became real popular, more than karate, more than a lot of other kicking arts. Maybe I have something to do with that, because I am the master and the ultimate. I'm the founder or the co-founder or something. I know I had a lot to do with making the fighting system of Shenmue 1 and 2.
Ine-san will be worried. I should go home soon.
Okay, so I go to sleep. So what I'm saying, I also created my own moves. And a lot of my own moves are actually real moves in other karate and martial arts systems. And I did these moves in my class that year. They gave me a real degree that made me this guy, and they called me the new name of this guy. So that's, to me, is profound in martial arts, like a don, like a master. And that's what made Shenmue special to me. So that's what sold this game a lot. Maybe it wasn't enough to save the Sega Dreamcast, the sales of this video game, but that means it did sell quite a bit. If it sounds like to me. So if it wasn't enough to save the Sega Dreamcast, which that's how they present Shenmue, you know, I mean, at least I created a fighting system that represented Shenmue correctly for Shenmue 1 and 2. I'm talking about, because I'm in the know of knowing what I'm talking about. Just personally, I know. And, these are my claims, too. I'll be right back. Yes. Hello. Hello, everyone. This is RetroZuki81 back online momentarily. Okay, I'm back online at the moment. And yes, so I took a bit of intermission break. Maybe coming to the end of the video soon. Yeah, so Shenmue. The more I think about this video game, if I think deep enough, and if I think hard enough, or maybe not even hard, but if I get deeper and deeper into the origins of what I think this game means, it does make sense. Everything I'm saying, it seems to me, and I think it seems to a lot of people, that it makes sense about Shenmue. People can call this theory if they want to. Some of it call it theory, but maybe some people can call it all factual. Really, I mean, I'm serious about it, because I know that I was this way, this type of initiating. I don't want to say that too much, but it's just this type of person that would do these things. I would do these things because, oh, yes. Whatever, okay, so to have all these characters about me, I would always volunteer in class and help out other students in class. I was following the claims of in a phone book to have courtesy, to have integrity, to have was compassion one of them. These are all just the traditional karate claims that they claim in karate arts. Like, some people would define this as the true meaning of karate, or the true meaning of maybe martial arts. They would say this is what's defined of what taekwondo is from another master, and I would look at that and read this in a phone book. Wish I had this same phone book. I remember this one master. He's not around anymore, but I can remember these claims they had about what taekwondo represented and what karate represented, or was it one or the other? But you could say one or the other, like the same side of a coin. One moment. Yes, I did. Okay, I'm broadcasting. Yes. So when I was taken to this karate school that is also known as a dojang in Korean, I don't know if it's even active nowadays. This Region 5, it may not be active. It says it's closed down online, but I think that may just be what they say on Google, and you can't believe everything that's on Google, as we know. They say it's closed up. Don't believe everything that's on Google. Yes, so what I'm saying, what the definition of what true karate is, there's people that would say, in this kind of an industry of martial arts, they would say it means courtesy, compassion, integrity, dignity, indomitable spirit, self-control, self-discipline, determination, courage, self-defense. They claim that when you study karate, it can give you these things. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody is going to obtain all these different traits when they train karate. It doesn't mean every practitioner in karate is going to have all these things. It's going to have every single talent that I'm describing, and it's going to be really, really gifted in martial arts, karate, it doesn't mean they're gonna have these things. But it does signify, it gives significant meaning of what karate or taekwondo or some art representing karate, whether it be in whatever Asian country, they're claiming it's their art is representing. It does signify these claims, even in America in the 1990s, that in fact, if you study and if you apply yourself to the martial arts and karate and everything they teach at that school, if you take it seriously, you have the potential to either acquire these things over time, some of these traits, or you have the potential to acquire all of them or one of them, or it all will depend on the practitioner. It'll depend on his body type. It'll depend on his genetics. It'll depend on his heritage, possibly. If he's American, if he's European, if he's Middle Eastern, if he's Asian, if he's maybe Spanish, or because Filipino people are really gifted in the martial arts, and they're Spanish too, and Asian. I know of a lot of Filipino actors that are naturally gifted in martial arts. You can watch Mortal Kombat. There's this guy, I don't remember his name, but in Mortal Kombat Conquest, he's Filipino descent, and he's playing the part in the role of Kung Lao in Mortal Kombat Conquest. He's very gifted in martial arts. If you follow Daniel Bernhardt, he comes from Switzerland, but he's European. And as you know, in Europe, martial arts are very, very respected and very, very, special here, that they practice that all the time in Europe. Very popular in Europe, martial arts, and Asia and other countries. But I do believe that the time for the 80s and 90s has, the martial arts boom of ninjas and karate guys, it's kind of like a funny joke. Just a lot of people nowadays, and maybe even years ago, it just, that time has faded out over time. But when you see me, let me say, when people see me on TV, and let me say this, explain this too, if you can see me doing these moves that look like I'm a ninja, or look like I'm some karate king, or some kind of guy that has talent for this, or doesn't have enough talent for it, well, you can understand, if you're from this, where I'm from in, Southeast Michigan, this is not the culture here like it used to be, or whatever. I'm not in California. I'm not in Asia. But I have trained with some of the most elite police forces that know the martial arts well. And I have trained martial arts with very talented professional black belts that are well known, renowned around the world, in Korea and around the world. The names I'm given online are very special, dignified, talented police force personnel that are also Dons. And I've trained with these guys. I know them in a lot of ways they're not aware of. I know them in ways that their dogs, their police force, German Shepherds would know them. But that's because I train with them. I mean, I could be considered like a dog because I know them. And I'm, in a manner of speaking, I'm part of their pack. So they never knew some of these Don teachers I'm training with, whether it's the whatever rank in their pack these Don teachers all are, there's one alpha wolf. And there's other ranks, there's the alpha, there's the last one, the omega. There's other ranks that are ranking in the wolf pack. So, you know, at one time, I think that my alpha wolf was, he's accepted me into his pack, but he probably thought that I had the potential to be the alpha wolf, and he's gone. If something were to happen to him, I have potential to be this kind of person. Now, the Don teacher, the designated head instructor that I talk about this, and I'll just say his name, Kyosanem Savoy. You know how I say Raymond? Okay. Well, there's also a show called Everybody Loves Raymond. I'm not saying nothing about that, but what I'm saying is that, okay, so these ranks in a wolf pack are special, but I portrayed a lot of talent and ability to be a leader, in martial arts. So maybe the Don teachers I trained with depicted me to be this way at the time. And, I could get more into this, why I would be depicted to be this way. And, why I was not always this way. But I'm about to eat my dinner soon, and I can save that maybe for another conversation. Yes, and so I want to say thank you to my karate instructors that I train with, if they ever are watching. And let me say this too. I do apologize. I do apologize for the times that I'm online and I'm desperate and I'm seeking financial help and some kind of help. But I don't have the means. I don't have to pay. I can't pay for YouTube monetization. I cannot just get these things. I do not just want to offend people that are within the pack of my teacher. And I do believe that's how he thinks. Maybe. But I just saying that I never wanted to offend anyone. I never wanted to talk ill or bad about people. But here I am. I have been suffering for 30 years after not receiving any claims. Anything that degree was signifying to give to me in my name, and like royalties or money compensation, I have claimed or said. And while some of them may be true to my belief or speculation in another sense, they signify what I remember, what I believe, what I know. And I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm not trying to be mean. I just am trying to find ways to it's like if I was a wolf trying to dig a hole out of a trap or a prison, you have to do whatever you can to dig out of that hole, to dig a hole out and come out the other side and get away. I'm trying to get the help I need, the food, the things, the all those things, love, mating, whatever, mating, love. You can't just get those things unless you have the respect of people in your life. And some of the most important people in my life were people that were in this pack from the Alpha Wolf. I never meant to offend. If someone in this pack was like the girl I talk about that I dated, I never understood a lot of things about her, but I think the teacher, the Alpha Wolf, had a lot of things he wanted to do and say, but the mathematical, equations and the mathematical, comprehension I have to have to solve these problems, our multiple problems. It was way too much intellect, I think, to understand the mind of this teacher. And that's why I always wanted to get back to this teacher, because to me, he's very intelligent and he thinks like a leader, and he thinks like someone that is in the know of how to do things, of how to do everything. Like he knows what he's doing. But I don't have the knowledge of his other pack members. I don't have the knowledge that I'm living next door to his pack. I didn't know that. For almost 30 years, I didn't know that. What am I supposed to say now? See, it's risky sometimes in a way to approach this the right way, so I don't want to say much or anything really. But what I am saying is that I am apologizing if I've offended anybody, and that's anybody. But when a wolf is trying to escape, when he's trying to achieve something, when he's trying to do something to regain the respect lost, or he's trying to survive, and say that too. He gets desperate. The wolf will get desperate. The wolf will do anything. An animal in nature and in the wild will do anything to survive, right? So, I might go crazy. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, when I say that this teacher is related to, I guess he's related, this cry teacher, to, and I met him before, Michael Skupin. He's related to him. So he must be. Yeah. So if that is true, I'm saying that, like, it is. But what I'm saying is that the show, the Survivor series, those people on the show, they had to think, they had to determine, they had to understand, they had to know what to do to survive at different times with different situations given for the crew of people there, their other team members. They had to know how to survive. So, I remember that time that Michael Skupin killed a pig to survive, to feed his other members on his team. So he had to do that. And they had pork and bacon, whatever, for a long time. I watched that video on YouTube, and so that had to happen. So I'm saying, I'm giving a comparison that I really wish I had known, I was in the know of knowing that, who was in my life at the time. If anyone knew that teacher, I wish I would have known. I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad, but at the same time, and I can't get into all this right now, but, I wish that I had gone back to that dojang. Now that's perhaps my fault. I didn't go back to that dojang. I can understand everybody has to live their own lives. And, there may be people in this same pack that, I can't say nothing about, because it's going to make me look bad no matter what, because of my gender, because I'm a man, that I'm not a man, or whatever. See, I am a man, but you know how you're not supposed to say anything bad about, like maybe you're not supposed to, Okay, you can't say nothing bad about children or a lady or whatever. You can't always say that. It's not always correct in being a gentleman or being politically correct, or maybe a race of someone or whatever. You can't just say these things. But when I am trying to figure out my problems and what went wrong in my history, I have to be desperate. I have to try to do whatever it takes to make it, whatever it takes to know how to solve my problem, to know how to live, to survive. So essentially, I'm saying that I just, am I wrong? That maybe I'm wrong in a lot of people's minds, but the real bigger and broader true picture of what I'm saying has to be deciphered, has to be understood, has to be broken down like a mathematical problem. You know how I'm thinking? Like, you have to take everything into consideration properly. And when people are not considerate, their intentions may be ill in my favor. But everybody has to live their own lives. I'm not trying to put anyone in danger with my claims and the way I present these things. But I, in fact, have to live my own life too. So it's funny that, here I am explaining these things. I may be staring at the wall, but when people watch this video, well, they're going to understand where I'm coming from in a way. Some people might. So what I'm saying, to end this broadcast soon, yes, I've created the style. Yes, I've done these things for Japan and for all these things I've done. I did it to help myself too. I wasn't just giving this away, this royalties and everything. I wasn't just giving this away. This is not a free contribution. I didn't just do this. But the teacher was, I think the teacher wanted to make everyone happy, because people were offended by me having this talent. The teacher didn't know what to do about me. So he wanted to part ways and go to the state of wherever he went, Arizona, wherever, and have this legacy of helping people that may have been offended by me because he didn't know what to do about me given the situation I had. So let's make everyone else happy that was offended by Ryan Salazar as being Ryozuki. Let's give them the money. Let's give them everything. That's why I'm thinking he wanted to take back this degree. Now, I did explain to him that I wanted to be a martial arts movie actor one day. But there's only so much time in the changing room to really understand this. Understand what we both want. Because I could never hang out with that teacher. I'm only a minor. I'm only 14 years of age. And I would have to run away and go home with this guy. This teacher. I would have to go with him when he meets his college girlfriend. I'd have to go with him on his date, wait in his car, and go home with him. That's how serious this was. If I wanted to know that person, I had to go home with them, and maybe I had to. Yeah, it's just that way in his life. It's like that. So, I cannot just get to know this person and understand this person, the mind, the mentality of this person, if in fact there's no time. If in fact there's no way I can know these things, because I'm a mature person. I'm compassionate. I have all these traits anyway. But it's not the fact that when I'm online, that I'm trying to be offensive. I'm trying to be profound. I'm trying to use profanity. Now back to the subject at the beginning of this broadcast here. The fight choreography is very profound, very special. It makes a point. when people swear, they do it to make a point. If they use a little profanity, they're using it to make a point about something. That's generally speaking how people will use profanity in any language anyway, if they do use profanity. It's slang, it's slandering, it's to make a point. It's because there may be a very hard and difficult way to make points. So people will tend to use profanity. And martial arts, like people tend to Dons have a profound martial arts way about them. And Don black belts, they have a way of, professional ones have a way of diffusing situations. They have a way of defending people the right way. They have a way of handling situations in the right professional manner. And, police are the same way. Military personnel are the same way if they're qualified to do these things correctly. If they have the talent to do these things. Well, they all have the protocol in their like police, they all have the way, the structure of how they, do things to handle a situation. But this is what I'm saying. In life, any given situation is, it has to be handled. If there's a situation, which meaning, what is a situation? The matter at hand, a problem, okay, an issue, whatever. I can name 1,000 terms for it, a thesaurus, whatever. You have to handle things. So when I'm coming to you saying that martial artists, this is a very profound, this is a very special fight choreography that made Shenmue what it is. I did this. And they extracted this from my training and made Shenmue what it is. When I say they, I do believe that they're not saying these Don teachers are credited. They don't want the credit. I'm believing that they sold these videos to Sega, to Japan, and they made Shenmue what it is. I don't know if Sega will ever admit these things, but in fact, I do know that they recorded me. I have eyes, I have ears, I can see these things going on when I'm doing these wildly super heroic moves. So, for that year, I was like an alien. I'm flying. And the only difference between me and Superman is that I'm flying with my body. My arms and legs are making me fly. My talent, my body, everything is making me fly. I'm not flying with a cape, but I'm flying with the rare martial arts talent that made Shenmue what it is. So there's no denying this Shenmue and the true origin of what Shenmue is. I think I have potential to do these things all over again. I think I may have that potential, and I don't know if it's worth it or not. Maybe it is. But there's only so much time, like in a changing room or whatever, to know these things. There's only so much time to make this happen. What am I? I'm age 44 this year in 2025. I was born in the year 1981 of 04/21, April 21st, 1981. In the year 1999, if I was born in the year 1981, I am age 14 in 1995. If you add 4 years to 1995 of 14, in 1999, I am the age 18 years old. So when this video game came out on Sega Dreamcast, I was actually the same age of Ryuzuki. I was 18 when I started playing this video game. The reason I like this video game is because it reminded me of myself when I was age 14 in 1999. I just never realized the real meaning of this game. Like I know a lot of meaning of this game. It's maybe unofficial, but I know I'm what they used to make Shenmue a lot. Now I'm not trying to have all the attention on me, but I know it does demand attention when I'm saying that. So um, I think I should be, considered special and for this, and I think I should be credited. I think I should be remembered throughout history for this, and I think I should be, even compensated for this from some sources with money, and that this equates like a lot of money to me. Really, because this is more than just like Sega. What my claims are, are going outside of Sega too. They're going around the world. This video game, it revolutionized the world. It changed the world at the time. When Shenmue came out, it was revolutionary, and it changed it. To me, it had a very positive impact on the world too. It had a positive change because it entertained people. It showed people a side of the martial arts that people don't understand always. And I can go on and on about it, but yeah. So I'm saying these things because they have meaning to me. They mean something. And if they have meaning, well, then I should say it anyway. And so this is the significance of what my claims are. And essentially, in some ways, I could probably name another, 100 other ways why. These things are important to know about Shenmue. Okay. Thank you all my Don teachers I've trained with, even if they don't accept me back at Region 5 to train with them ever. Thank you all Federation in Springfield, New Jersey. Master Phil Duncan, H.C. Kwong in Korea. Thank you to Hyung Ki, who has passed away in the year 2002. May he rest in peace always. The president, the founder of our United States, not the president or founder of Tang Soo Do. This martial art was used in Vietnam, is used in the military, and is used in the Korean War. It's been used many times, this martial art. It's effective, Tang Soo Do, Subak Do. But I have also contributed other arts that made Shenmue what it is. And there's some Tang Soo Do and Subak Do oriented moves that are in Shenmue. Yes. And thank you, everyone. I'm Richard Ruzuki, 81.